Welcome back to another episode of the Frugal Fit Mom podcast. I am your host, Christine, and I am so excited about today's guest. We are going to be chatting with Dawn from The Minimal Mom. She is one of my good friends. She runs the YouTube channel, The Minimal Mom. She has courses. She has a membership group. She gives away an amazing quantity of free products and courses and workshops, and is incredibly smart and fun to talk to, and loves to be silly and eat candy when I choose to do that. So she is coming in today to teach us all about minimalism, having a satisfying life without acquiring all these extra things, and probably a little bit of shenanigans as well. So without further ado, let's go hang out with Dawn. Awesome to hang out with you today.
Yeah, thanks, Christine. I love getting to hang out with you. You're so fun. I
I
want to
love
be like
getting
you
to
when I
hang
grow
out
up.
with you because I want to be like you when I grow up. Maybe we can grow old together. That would be great.
I would love that.
So the holidays are coming up this month.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so just a couple of questions for you. I don't want you to go into detail on these answers. This is like a
Okay.
yes or no, no
Rapid fire.
explanation, rapid
Deal.
fire. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Okay, I like it.
Okay. Christmas, neighbor gifts, yes or no?
No. Well, no, I take it back. Like something thoughtful, like homemade cookies or something like that. Yes, all day long. Like have to go to a store and buy something real? No. Opt out of that
Okay.
crap. No. Can we say
Oh,
crap on your
okay.
podcast,
You
Christine?
can say crap.
Okay.
Let's keep it there.
Earmuffs. Yeah.
Your
Okay, got
muff's
it.
on. Okay. Stockings for your kids, yes or no?
Nope. Never done it. Never will. Don't
Oh,
feel bad about it.
that's an interesting, I don't want to get into the weeds here because it's supposed to be rapid fire. But I think you've said on your YouTube channel that you don't do stockings. And I think people had an interesting reaction to that. But I think it's because you've never done it. Like, it's not like
It's
you did it and
easier.
took it away.
Right.
Right. So I get that
Hmm.
question about myself. They're like, how do your kids deal with your frugal lifestyle? And I was like, it's not like we were lavish and then went
Yeah.
backwards. Like this
Right.
is just the life that they know.
Yep.
So it's probably fine for them.
And they're going to be better because of it. Darn it.
Darn it. Okay. Cookies for Santa. Yes or no?
No, that was another thing. We never had that
Really?
tradition growing up. So then I think it just wasn't something that we kind of downplay um that. So
That
that
side of
hasn't
it.
been a
Okay,
thing. Yep.
sure. Teacher gifts, yes or no? I know you homeschool, but still.
Yeah. Our kids started out going to public school. Yes, teacher gifts all day long. You can stay within your budget. I love Christine when we did the 5 days to an organized Christmas. There was a teacher on. She was like, I love $5 gift cards. And so if it's to McDonald's, coffee, even Target, like it doesn't have to break the bank. Even if $5 is outside of your budget, like a handwritten note, have your child make a note. I just have heard so many teachers though say like, thanks, but no thanks to more ornaments or coffee cups. So they have the mugs covered. So just so you know.
Okay, so I like the gift card. It's easy to buy, easy to give,
Yeah.
and they love it. It's
And
brilliant.
they appreciate it.
Okay, Christmas cards, physical that you mail out. Christmas cards, yes or no?
Yes. I think when
Yes.
you have kids that are growing so quickly, I've heard from many family and friends that are like, we just love, seeing the kids grow from year to year. Many of them aren't on Facebook, and I don't do a good job posting to Facebook. So that's the one time a year they get to see the update.
Okay. Okay, we're talking about the holiday dinner now.
Okay.
Turkey or ham? Or
I
neither?
don't know that I have a preference. If someone's making food and serving it to me, yes.
So you don't host? Someone else does it?
No, my mom always hosts, and then we'll all contribute. A lot of times for Christmas, we just do appetizers. So we make sliders and meatballs and artichoke dip, and so.
I actually love that idea.
Do you know
I
what's funny,
might
Christine?
what?
We're actually going. Diana and I decided that we think we might go back to an actual meal this year because you graze all day and you never feel full, and you kind of end up feeling sluggish. And I'm like, I kind of wish we just had a nice sit down meal, and then you put it all away, and then you're done eating, and you filled up on good food.
Right, right.
So.
I can't say that we've had a tradition necessarily for us. A
Mm-hmm.
few years ago, I went to beef. So we did like a
Okay.
beautiful prime rib roast. We've
Yeah.
done really gorgeous like ribeyes and steak,
Okay.
to have kind of a special
Yes,
meal.
I like that. Mm-hmm.
Right. And then what I really like is my sister-in-law. So one of Dave's sisters, they do a candlelight dinner, and
Oh,
they do it on Christmas Eve, and they turn out all the
yeah.
lights and they do candlelights and they do fancy everything. And her kids, she has 5 kids. They love the candlelight dinner.
I feel like our kids, because we come to my parents' house and they have a really big table, And I feel like if we set that with my mom's nice linens, she actually has Christmas dishes, like beautiful, that we got her the full set. And then the candles, I feel like the kids would get such a kick out of that and love helping with the whole process of it.
Right,
Okay,
because it
thank
makes
you.
it kind of special, right?
So
I
special.
kind
I
of
even
love
think that would be
that.
super fun. Yeah. Okay.
I might even buy candles to do it myself. We'll see.
I would have to go to the dollar store and stock up.
I'm
I
gonna
feel like
have to
they all
get
need to
my
be like jar candles, not tapers, because like I just feel like the table is gonna get set on fire or someone's hair or something.
but what a great story to tell,
True.
right?
Okay, fine. All
E
tapers then.
every
Just so I have a
disaster
story.
every disaster is a silver lining because you get a great story out of it later.
True story.
Um,
Okay, all tapers all the way.
yeah,
In
taper
really
6
tall,
inches.
narrow
Yeah.
stands.
Cut in half, 6 inches apart, with the it's not chrome, that's the wrong the
Yeah, the
silver,
silver or
sterling
whatever.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, I need to go to Goodwill now.
Yeah, I need to come to your thrift store. That's what I should do.
Yeah, and my
Okay,
Aldi. We'll go together.
if you had pick between holiday movies or music, and you can only pick one, which one wins?
Music. Yep,
Music wins over
absolutely.
the movies. Okay, what's your favorite
Yes.
Christmas song?
I don't know if I have one, but I love a good like Christmas orchestra, or my mom and I have gone to some orchestra performances together. Um, some good Amy Grant Christmas.
Throwing it back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Oak Ridge Boys Christmas. Yeah. So,
I like all of it. I love all the Christmas
mhm,
music from
yeah.
the I Want a Hippopotamus to some give me some Bing
Destiny's Child. We
Crosby.
have a Destiny's Child CD.
Okay, it's going on my wish list right now. Destiny's Child Christmas.
Like how many times do they say baby in a Christmas song, you know? It's
Well,
awesome.
I'm gonna go find out now.
And
And
not
this is
Jesus the baby. Like
oh, not Jesus the baby, but
no.
the partner, the
Like
baby.
baby. Yeah.
Baby, like
Baby.
what? Who's that? Bieber, Justin Bieber song? Baby, right?
Yep.
Enough of the holiday talk for now. Maybe we'll get back to it.
Okay. Okay.
Dawn, you've been a minimalist for 8 years?
9. Ooh. Wow.
9. Oh, I was
Yeah.
off. That's embarrassing for me. So you do it publicly, which is super cool because you get to help other people achieve the peace in your home that you've achieved, which I love.
Mhm.
But there's always everyone's a critic. So what's the
Mhm.
number one biggest pushback you've gotten publicly on your lifestyle?
Oh, hands down that we are somehow depriving or traumatizing or ruining our kids. And I mean, everyone is genuinely concerned. Like it's out of a place of sincerity. Like, so I don't want to like be too snarky about it. But this idea that because they're living with so much less that they are suffering or going without, our kids love it. Love it. And we have one that is attached to everything. I've told this story, Christine, but so our youngest, he just turned 10. He was the reason I had to come up with treasure bins because everything is a treasure to him. And one time I was going out of town and I like to get the kids like extra snacks and treats when I would go out of town. And I got some little bags of chips, and we were going through Gage's treasure bin not too long ago. And there was a bag of little Doritos in there. And I was like, hey, buddy, we get mice in our house in the winter. So how about you eat these, And so do you know what he did? He was like, okay, yeah. So but first, he took a scissors and he cut off a corner of the bag and put that into his treasure bin. And then he took the rest and he ate it. Like that is how sentimentally attached he is to things at times. And I mean, my initial reaction was like, oh no, what have I done wrong? But then I'm like, no, it's just like some kids just are more attached to things. Just because they're attached doesn't mean they can keep everything, right? And so we've done treasure bins, we go through them regularly, and he's gotten very good at like keeping the truly special things, letting other things go. And I'm so glad that he is learning those skills and practicing that now, because he is going to take that with him the rest of his life. And so, no, our kids are not at all deprived. I mean, I would argue that our kids are in many ways better off living in a house that has much less and not drowning in toys. And as moms, we're all doing the best that we can. But that is hands down like the pushback that I get. And I know you get, I mean, similar criticism about depriving your kids too, don't you?
I guess
Okay. I
not
don't need to
not
project it
usually.
on you.
It's usually about like me having things in my kitchen because sometimes I cook like budget food on my channel. And so people are
Yeah.
mad that I have an Instant Pot or something. Like, I don't know. Or
Yeah.
I got one. This is the funniest one I ever got. They were mad that I had salt. Salt. Like, you
Okay.
act like everyone can have salt. That's what they said. Like, you privileged woman with your salt. I don't think it was satire. I
You're like,
think,
could I buy some and send it to you,
and
please? Like,
I was
I
like,
would really like to
salt's
do that.
literally 50
A
cents, but
dollar? Yeah. Okay.
sure,
You know? Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
I
I
thought
mean, you
that
could
was
even
a
steal
funny
it from
one.
restaurants if you really wanted
I mean,
to.
you could. For the record, I'm not advocating theft. Just putting that publicly out there. I am not pro theft. Just so we're clear. But yeah, you know those salt and pepper packets that they have at,
Yeah.
I don't know, Wendy's or whatever. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure you could
I mean,
mosey
they're
on into.
complimentary, right?
They are complimentary.
Snag a
Just
few extra.
grab a
But
few of
wait,
those.
you can't afford Wendy's if you can't afford salt, probably. So maybe
Wait, are you not
maybe we
supposed to
really
just
are
walk in and take
uninformed.
it? You have to order something to take it?
I guess I don't know. They don't have a sign on it, so
Where's
maybe
that sign? Okay, so your farmhouse that you have shown on YouTube your whole remodel over the years,
hmm
which I'm obsessed with DIY content on YouTube. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite things to watch. So those were my favorite videos you ever made, was all of your remodel stuff, all of them, the campers, the house, all of it. So today, what's the number one thing that you're like, I wish I had not done that? Do you have any?
Wow, that's a good question. We upgraded we thought we were upgrading the vinyl plank in our house. So our initial remodel, we put down a real cheap, just it was what we could afford. But it had cracked down the very middle because the floor was uneven and it was a very inexpensive product. So when we were able to afford it, we found at our local home improvement store, they had it on clearance. It was a LVP, right? The luxury
Right.
vinyl plank. And so we went through and we upgraded it and we were so happy about it. And it scratches so easily, way easier than the other stuff that we have. It is not holding up well, and it's light colored. And I thought that would almost be more forgiving. No, it scratches and then it gets like dirt in it or whatever. So you just like see the scratches. And so that's been really disappointing. But what do? You know, right? It's not like you can bring it home and put down a test section and then so otherwise we went pretty slow with all of our remodels and we put a lot of thought into them ahead of time. And so even things that others criticized us about, like the counter we put in with our computers, they're like, you're going to hate that. And as your kids get older, like they're going to want privacy. And I'm like, no, privacy and computers do not go together in our household. Right. Love it. I pretty much everything we've done, I have been very happy with. Even making everything white. I was doing that for filming. So it'd just be brighter and a better kind of stage for our house. And I had, been raised growing up on a farm where you're like, white houses and farms, dirt do not mix. I love it. If you have a small house, making everything lighter colors and bright, it feels twice as big in there as it did before.
Yeah, I think maybe a lot of people don't understand when you film yourself for your job, like the white, there's a reason for the white kitchen, the
hmm
white wall, the white furniture, the white floor. It
Yeah.
films so much better. It's
Yeah.
very difficult to work with lighting when you don't have all those bright spaces around you. It's one of the
hmm
reasons I redid my kitchen counter and backsplash.
Yeah.
But even still, I don't have windows, not really, in my kitchen.
Okay.
So I have no natural light, and it's even with the white, it's so challenging to get
hmm
like nice lighting in there.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting for people to know. As far as
hmm
filming goes, white is king for sure.
Yeah. hmm
There's a reason all the online people use white, and it's not because they're trying to sell you
Yeah.
white paint. It just looks
No.
better.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that the flooring scratched, because that's one of their biggest selling points, is like it's durable, it's
I
waterproof, it
know.
doesn't scratch. I'm shocked by this.
I
Do you want to
know.
say
And
what brand it is? You want to say
I
what
can't
brand
even
it is?
remember. And maybe that's why I
Okay.
was on clearance. We've had other stuff from Home Depot that we've put in like our office building and our rentals. And that was a lesser grade, holds up awesome. So that was just from Home Depot. So most people have a great experience with LVP. So I think we just got a bad brand or style or something.
That's very interesting. I'm gonna have to think about that, because we were talking about doing LVP in our basement. Our carpet is over 20 years old. It's so gross. And just ripping
hmm
all the carpet out and doing that throughout the basement. And it's easy
Yeah.
enough that my husband and boys can do it,
Yep.
and we can save some money that way. And now I'm like
hmm
rethinking the whole thing.
No.
Maybe I
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Your kids are older too. And if in a basement, it doesn't get quite as much traffic, probably either.
Yeah, probably. Okay, let's talk about books because I know you like them. I know you're a big
Mm-hmm.
fan of nonfiction. Do you ever
Hmm.
read fiction?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of both. Because when you read fiction, 6 minutes of reading fiction can lower your stress levels by up to 94%. So fiction has a way with your brain of really helping you disconnect and watching TV actually for a lot of people is overstimulating and stressful. Your brain doesn't get to relax, even though we try to zone out to Netflix. Shows these days are, oh my goodness, over the top with the storylines and the flashing and the, oh, wow. Um, but reading a book, a fiction book, I mean, it is so beneficial for your mental health. And so I started that a long time ago. I needed it before bed to get my brain to stop processing. But yes, I also love, love, love nonfiction as well.
Okay, perfect. So, what are you currently reading? Fiction, nonfiction? What are you reading right now?
Yeah, so I'm reading 10x is better than 2x. Have you heard of that book, Christine?
No, I'm writing it down right now.
Yeah, we'll do a book club. It's so good, especially if you're into any kind of businessy, uh, wanting to improve things. Also, you had told me about the anxious generation.
So good.
I just got that. Probably every parent needs to read that book.
Agreed. 100%.
Yeah.
Every parent.
And then what am I reading for? Oh, fiction. I just downloaded this book. It's so cute. It is called the Thursday is it the Thursday Murder Club? Yeah, the Thursday Murder Club. It's about these like retired folks that live in a retirement community, but there's this group that get together on Thursdays to like try and solve murders. So
It's
cute.
that's kind of
So,
like Only Murders in the Building, sort of.
okay.
It's a
Yeah.
TV show. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No idea. But yeah.
No, it's on. I don't know what it's on. Hulu, maybe Hulu only, like
Oh,
a
okay.
Hulu rant. Anyway, it's Steve Martin and Martin Short, and
Oh, fun. What's it
yeah,
called?
but basically they want to solve murders, but they don't want to leave the building because they're old, so they only solve murders in the building. Sounds like that.
Christine, I heard you. There was a show on Netflix. Shoot, I have to think of what it's called now. And I'd heard you mention that you were going to watch it maybe on Instagram stories or something. It was the worst show ever. It was
What was it?
it had murder in it. How to Get Away with Murder? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, he had the ABC show. Yes,
Dude, did you keep
it was
like
dark.
do you know what I don't like about some like Netflix series is when the plot line moves along so slowly every episode. Like it takes so long to get to the who done it and the everything, and then it gets to the end of the season and still nothing's actually resolved. I felt like that with that show, and it was pretty dark.
It was very dark for sure.
Did you keep
They
watching it? I'm
they
I'm
took it
judging
off.
you
I
now.
made it. I feel the
Oh,
judgment
that's
coming through a
right. I saw it was
little.
like going away September 30th or something.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
took it off. So I only got through season one. They were excellent at the cliffhangers. Like the episode would end and you're
Oh,
like, wait,
yeah. If you want a show to binge watch, that would be it. I hate that.
yeah, I kind of hate that too. And then they took it off, so it doesn't matter. It's a moot
Yeah,
point now.
at this point.
Okay.
But you would have
Um
kept watching it?
Probably because it was
Did Dave
mentally
watch it with you?
stimulating.
Yeah.
No. I have to
Oh,
watch
okay.
stuff that I can watch by myself so I can fold my clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need something that
I get that.
makes the
Yeah, you
drudgery
have a
of the
reward to
household
go with
tasks.
the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's like my folding clothes, make my bed shows. And I can't. The problem is, here's the problem. I invite Dave to watch a show with me that's good. And I'm like, hey,
Okay.
like when we started The Blacklist, which is fantastic.
Okay.
So we started that show. I started it without him. And then I'm like, dude, you're going to love this show. So I went back to
Yeah.
the pilot. And then now I can't watch it without him. He'll be
Yes.
so
Yep.
mad. So now I had to find a new clothes
Yep.
folding show. Right. And that's how it goes. That's how I rewatch like Gilmore Girls all the time
Yeah. Big
because
Bang
he doesn't care
Theory.
about that.
Yep. Okay.
You read a lot. You like the both books. I like that. So if you could pick one, the most impressionable book that you have read, let's say in the last 5 years, what would it be?
Oh, wow. Oh, you needed to prep me. Let me pull up my Kindle
I can
app.
tell you mine while you
Please do.
look.
Yeah.
Okay. I read the book In Order to Live, and I'm going to butcher her name,
Okay.
Yemni Park, it's about a girl from North Korea that was able to escape and become a citizen of South Korea, but she was sold into human trafficking in China, and then they had to escape that. It is the most powerful, like, human experience story almost that I've ever read, almost ever.
What is it called?
It's called In Order to Live. It's challenging to read. There's some really serious topics in there, and
Okay.
it is shockingly horrific.
Mm-hmm.
And her personality and her positive attitude throughout the whole process was really inspiring.
Wow. She has 28,000 full 5-star reviews.
Yeah,
Like,
it is
no joking.
unreal. Highly
Wow.
recommend.
Okay, I'm
Everyone
adding
should read
that.
it.
Okay, I'm adding it to my books to read list. Um, so I would say a book that was really had kind of a similar impact. I'm trying to find it. It was about a gal who lived through the Cold War in Soviet Union, Russia.
Hmm.
And now this, I think what was so jarring to me was this was just during, I mean, the early 1900s. Like, we're not actually that far removed from it, but it talked about like going through the winter with no food. And so they were literally eating like the pages of books, sawdust. I mean, it was just like so sad. But what was so surprising to me was just like the resilience of human beings that, and I mean, many made it through and they survived from eating books and sawdust and different things. Like, how, I mean, just the depravity was so sad, but also what they overcame was just incredible. And often, it kind of tied into minimalism in the fact that people are just always very worried about, but what if this happens and what if that happens? And I'm like, we actually have so much that even if we had to go without food for, many days or even months, actually most of us would have plenty. Like, we could make it through a winter. I mean, we might have to start rationing or eating a little less than we would like, but we actually, I mean, we would have a lot. And so to read what people have actually gone through and experienced, and I'm like, we kind of are whiny babies sometimes, right?
We're
Um,
just a bunch of babies.
Right. And so I never recommend, like, we're not gonna be careless or whatever. Like, do what makes sense for you and where you live. Obviously, we just came through a hurricane and there are many who are like, I wish I had this and I wish I had that, but learn
Right.
from it, right? But yeah, I think there's just, I mean, when you look at what people have come through, it's always very humbling to me. And it's just a good perspective, I think, of like, wow, we are so fortunate right now. And yes, life still happens, but wow, when you got food and electricity and water, it makes it a little bit easier to, and freedom, to navigate what's coming your way. So
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's pretty powerful also just to remind ourselves that not everybody has what we have. And
yeah.
and we forget that sometimes, just
Mhm.
living our lives, doing our thing, and we're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so busy. I didn't have time to watch my Netflix show." And then like I go and read this book and I'm like, "Wow, I'm such a baby." Like
Yeah.
I let's instead make a gratitude journal instead of like complaining that
Yeah.
my hair looks bad today or something, right? Like
Yeah.
it
Mhm.
was quite moving for me. So I would recommend that. And then I'll put all the books
Yeah.
that we talked about today in the show notes so
Yeah.
people can check them out if they want to. So
Yeah.
as we move into one of my favorite seasons of the year, I love everything about it. Everything. I love the decorations. I love the music. I love the food. I love the movies. I love the books. I love the traditions. I love the get togethers. I love it all.
Okay.
Let's talk movies.
Ugh, you're gonna lose me on this one.
You have to
I'm
have one favorite holiday movie. Number
Home
one wouldn't
Alone.
be Christmas without it.
Home Alone.
Yeah,
Just because
that's a
I
classic.
remember we saw it in the theater, and that was a big deal. Because when we were growing up, we didn't get to go to the theater very often to see movies, and we did, and it was so fun, and it's holiday themed, and then the subsequent ones come out. So yeah. Hmm.
Watching as an adult, I mean, I watched it as a kid too, obviously. Watching as an adult, I was like, I can't believe how mean that family is to each other. At the
Mm,
beginning, they're
yeah.
so mean. And like the uncles
Yeah.
yelling at Kevin, you know, and I was
Yeah.
like, if that had been my brother yelling at my kid, like I would have popped him one. You know what I mean? I'd have been like, why
I
are you a jerk? Get
know.
out. Like it was wild. And I didn't recognize it when I was a kid, but man, do I see it now. Do you see that now?
Yeah, it makes me sad. I mean, we went through our 5 days to an organized Christmas earlier, and hearing some of the stories from people that are like, well, yeah, but has your family member ever done this? And I was like, that sucks. Like,
Yeah.
and I know as we head in, a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm not looking forward to seeing this person or that or whatever. I think both you and I have actually had it pretty good when it comes to the the relative department.
Yeah. Overall, not horrible for sure.
Yeah,
Overall,
yeah,
good.
could be worse.
I listened to this, I think it was a podcast recently, and I heard this quote. I want to tell you the quote because I was like, I have to talk to Dawn about this. The second I heard it, I was like, this is a conversation we need to have. And I
Okay.
don't know where it's going to go, but I'm going to give you not verbatim because I'm not that, I didn't write it down. But it was basically unhappy people make great consumers.
Oh gosh, yeah. Wow.
That, how often when you listen to something that it just like stabs you in the gut and you were like, I had to stop and take a minute and take a note on my phone, right? Because I was like, wow, this
Yeah.
is this is the essence of like what you do and what I do.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
I
help people declutter all the unhappy like purchases they made when they were feeling sad.
right, right. And I want
Yeah.
people to feel better so
Yeah.
they don't waste their money on things they'll declutter later because they're
I
trying to
know.
fill a void in their life that cannot be
But
filled with
but I've
stuff.
done it.
Well, I've
Especially
done
with
it
one of our
too.
children, like when I've just she's gotten sad about things or whatever, and I'm like, let's go buy some Nike sweatpants that you've really been wanting to wear to Taekwondo, right? And I'm just like, what are you doing? And then I'm like, yeah, let's not make a habit of this, okay?
Right. Well, listen, you and I have both done a ton of research on the state, the mental state of our country and our kids. I would say the adults,
Hmm.
all of us. I
Hmm.
think we're lonelier than we've ever been.
Hmm.
We have the most mental health that we've ever had.
Hmm.
So if you could give a tip or two, like how to feel better tomorrow so you don't
Hmm.
become a really, really great consumer.
Oh, easy. Help other people. I mean, it's scientifically proven. The World Happiness Report came out earlier this year. We are the least happy. The really discouraging part is our youth are the least happy that they have ever been. And talk about, Christine, our kids have everything. Now, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of kids in the US that they don't, right? But many of us our kids have nothing to complain about, and yet they're the unhappiest. US American kids are the unhappiest they have ever been. And what is remarkable is it is scientifically proven that if you will volunteer for 1 hour a month, like 1 hour
It's
a
like
month, that
nothing.
is way less than what you watch Netflix, right? 1 hour a month, it'll increase your happiness by 30%. And this can be like, yeah, you can go to soup kitchens and retirement centers. You literally could go help your neighbor rake their leaves or ask them if they need help. You could make dinner and bring it over to them. Give someone a ride in your neighborhood that might need it. But if you will get outside of yourself to help others, and I think it's a similar thing what we were talking about with the books, like it's the perspective shift, right? Like when you go serve people that have less than you, you're like, oh crud, like yeah, I actually do have a lot, and it really does. It changes our mindset and our perspective. It's so powerful.
I'll totally agree with that. I'll even add a couple.
Yeah, please.
Sleep is one of the most studied
Yeah.
things
Hmm.
out there. If you want to feel better tomorrow, focus on improving your sleep in all its forms, the depth, the length, the all of
Yeah.
it. And a big
It
part of
might take
that,
a little while. You like,
mhm,
you might be like, well, I tried to go to bed early last night, and it sometimes takes a little while for our sleep hygiene to catch up and to really experience all the benefits, right?
yeah, I heard this thing recently about the circadian rhythm, about how our brains are constantly trying to figure out what time of day it is, like
Mm,
constantly. And it
okay.
causes a lot of stress when we're not on a regular time frame. So like if you get
Mm-hmm.
up at 7 and then you get up at 6 and then you get up at 8, your body's
Yeah.
always stressed out because
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't actually know what's going on. And then of course the screens, I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Scrolling on your phone, watching TV, late into the night, your body thinks it's daytime and it doesn't know what time it
Mm-hmm.
is. And then you're stressed out and then can't go to sleep again. And then
Mm-hmm.
it prevents you from making connections to the people in front of you. You and I talked about this in the organized Christmas thing about, did you say like when your watch buzzes? You said that, and someone
Yeah.
looks at it,
Yeah.
like we've already become disconnected as people and that makes us unsatisfied.
Yeah.
Cue, I need a Starbucks run to feel
Right.
better, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
I just think deeper
Yeah.
connections, sleep, service,
Get off
putting the
social
phones
media.
down, get off social
I mean,
media.
social media is proven to, well, A, we're buying stuff on it, right? Like they know how to
Hmm.
get us to buy. Marketers spend gazillions of dollars to know how to target you, especially when you're feeling down. And then all you do on social media is compare yourself to others. That's all you do, right? I mean, sometimes there's some fun things, you learn a tidbit here and there, but the net impact is negative. And so either get off or you better really be diligently scrubbing your feed and curating it to only follow people that make you feel good. And if they don't, they are unfollowed, like gone. So probably most of your high school friends and the other moms around you, you're just gonna have to get rid of and just follow like Christine. So
Only follow Christine and also Dawn, by the way. Also follow Dawn. Christine and Dawn. That's all you need to follow. I'll share pictures of me out in the mountains, and then
I
Dawn
would
will
say you're
help
gonna be a
you
mountain biker before you know it
how
and
to, yeah,
running
you'll
like a
just,
crazy person.
well, you won't have any money to go to Starbucks because you will have bought a bike.
There you go.
You know
But you'll
what?
be
You
out
know what?
in nature and
But
you'll be
you
so
feel
good.
great.
You
Oh,
will.
speaking of feeling happier, so I thought this was super interesting. You told me recently that you've been going to the gym pretty regularly in the mornings. Tell me about that.
Hmm.
Tell me about how that's changed your life.
Well, yeah, because I was telling Christine, I'm like, I knew I would get there. Again, the first month was just I like had to force myself. And now I'm back to the like, I feel like I have to go or I do not get my day started right. And I feel off all day. And so why is that, Christine?
Because when you work out in the morning and you get your heart rate up for, I think it's 20 minutes, maybe 10 or 20 minutes. I don't remember the number. You
Hmm.
you recalibrate your stress level tolerance for the
Hmm.
day. And because you've stressed your body at the beginning of the day, your stress level tolerance goes up, which means you can handle more things
Yeah.
throughout the day because everything else is less stress than what you've already done. So
Yeah.
nothing bothers you. I mean, not nothing, but
No.
less bothers you.
Yeah, I've been when you said that I'm like that makes perfect sense. And I love walking outside. But in Minnesota, it's already starting to get cooler, cold. Well, it is now. And so the gym was climate controlled, obviously. But I've also realized that it is like the ultimate form of body doubling because you go there and you kind of feed off of other people's energy. Now, I also know that it can be very intimidating to when you're first getting started. So what I recommend is going at the off times of the day when it's not super busy. So you can just kind of like learn the equipment. I always I mean, I was a personal trainer, but still at this new gym I'm going to, I'm just like standing back and watching other people how they use like certain machines and I'm observing them. I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it. Like I can do that. Right. And then also find a friend. Like most of us, we need to use the buddy system for accountability, for moral support, like to be like, well, I'm not going to be the only one looking like a fool when I go there. Right. But yeah, it's been so good. So whether you're going to a gym or just getting out and walking every morning, do you feel similarly, Christine, when you start out with a workout?
Yeah, my schedule can be a little crazy sometimes with the teenagers running this way and that. Maybe some mornings it doesn't work out, or we went to bed really late because some kid had to
Hmm.
work until midnight or whatever. But I've noticed a huge difference on the days that like I do my workout first thing and then I'm done, and like by 8 I'm finished and I'm moving on with my day.
Okay.
Those days infinitely better than the
Okay.
days where I hold off and maybe I know I'm just going to go work out in the evening with Dave or
Hmm.
something. But those days I'm like not agitated, but like off,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Things just don't roll off your back quite as easily and
I'm not
feel
as
more irritable and
productive. I don't think
yeah.
as clearly. I'm not as
Hmm.
positive. It's a drastic
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. I can totally see that. You go.
I'll do a quick plug if you're going to the gym and you're like, I don't know what to do. And maybe you don't have a buddy or something. I cannot say this enough. The Peloton app, I think it's $13 or
Mm,
$15 a month. I'm not
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
The coaches, the strength classes, the
Hmm.
treadmill classes, which you can use on a treadmill at the gym, are unmatched.
I
They are
will second
top
that.
notch.
Yeah, I love the well, they call them like hiking workouts like on the treadmill because I'm not gonna
Yes.
run like ugh. But you do the incline up and down and you adjust the speed and then they have music and they're encouraging you. I totally agree. Now, how much did you say you pay for it? I feel like I'm paying like $24 a month or
The
something.
You know what? Actually have the Peloton, so I don't pay for the app. I pay for the actual one.
Yeah,
So I don't know. You know what? I'm going to have to double check that because
it's fine. But
I
yeah, it is a little bit of an investment. But if you have like a treadmill at home and you're like, "Ah, I just never can do it or whatever, you will feel like you have someone there with you. If you prop your iPad on it and put on one of those workouts, and they have beginner ones. That's what I like that about Peloton too, is like you can start at the beginner. You're not gonna, be worked too hard. So,
I think Rebecca Kennedy is the one that does the hiking classes. Am I right
okay.
about that?
Yeah, there's some
She
guys too, but yeah.
Oh, I guess I haven't done the guy ones for the
Hmm.
hiking specifically. I've done hers, but
Yeah.
her strength training classes, 2 thumbs up.
Okay, cool. I mean, yeah, they have
Fantastic.
everything on there. So
They do have everything, and
I
I'll double
agree.
check on the price because I could be off by a few years
Yeah,
on the
it's
on
been
the
a little while
price of
since
the
you
app because I
subscribed.
haven't looked in a bit. So that just be my own ignorance there.
Yeah. I was gonna say too, I really like following Jordan Syatt on Instagram with the caveat. He swears like a sailor.
Oh
So if
yeah,
that would offend you or turn you off, then don't follow him. His fitness and nutrition advice is the best out there. It is simple, it is practical, for everyone, every stage. It is like if you're looking for minimalist like nutrition and workout information, I really appreciate what he shares
I agree.
outside of
He
the swear
is
words.
fantastic. I've met him in person. He's literally the nicest guy on the planet, and
Hmm.
he knows his crap.
Yep.
Like it's hard to navigate fitness and health online because everybody
Hmm.
says all kinds of things and everything's
Yeah.
conflicting and it's very confusing. And he
Yep.
is like a straight shooter, which I love. And yes, if you have kids around,
Don't. Yeah.
but
But
maybe
he
don't.
also, I think why he feels so sincere and legit is because he's never trying to sell you anything.
No,
Like
never.
he doesn't sell supplements or meal plans or buy this printable or this program. And so I really appreciate that about him too.
Yeah, I love him. He's pretty fantastic. That's a great follow.
Hmm.
I have a
So we
personal
got three now
question.
you can follow on Instagram. So
Yeah, okay. Me, Dawn, and Jordan. For sure. But that's it. Stop there. So I've been decluttering my house systematically since 2020, as I'm sure most everybody else did that when
yeah,
we were all in our houses and
right.
we were like, I hate
After we did
everything.
all our sad buying.
Right, right. Or yeah, maybe that. So I feel like I've decluttered a good amount. Obviously, could we always do more? Yeah, probably. But here's
Hmm.
the thing. I still struggle with the kids' bedrooms, and
Hmm.
they don't even have anything anymore. So for you, how often do you go into the kids' room and say, "Okay, let's put this back together,"
Hmm.
or "Let's do another pass," or do you just let them have their space and you go in once a month and be like, this is not it. Let's teach you some cleanup skills." How do you
Yeah.
manage that?
So our girls now are 13 and 15. They can totally do it on their own. They regularly grab a trash bag and go through it, regularly have clothes to donate. So for them, I don't have to really do much. And Adeline, our oldest, really likes having their room clean. So she'll often like prompt Maggie. Maggie complains, but then ultimately does it. And so they're pretty hands off for me. The boys are the exact opposite. And so I am not a good regular maintainer. And so it's probably twice a year where we just go through everything, bring in the black trash bags, do a big run to Goodwill, get their clothes back under control. And so I'm more of a like, yeah, let's just do it big a couple times a year than to try and do it consistently throughout the year.
I find that to be the case in my home also. The boys,
Okay.
it's just a different animal. And I'm not saying all boys are that way, but I do have
Yeah.
3 of them and they all have a hard time with the daily maintenance of
Yeah.
of a bedroom, but they are pretty minimal. And so
Okay.
like I went 2 of the bedrooms are in the basement, so I don't go down there all the time,
Yeah.
but I went down there and I opened one of the rooms and I was like, "What? Like, you don't even have these many things." You know,
Yeah. Right.
he's got
Yeah.
shoe racks to store his shoes and he's got a plenty of dresser room to store all of his things with some extra space. He doesn't have excess toys or anything, but no, it was like everything vomited onto the floor. Like the shoe rack is empty and the dresser is empty because
Yeah.
we don't have the pickup, like
Yeah.
the
Because mom
wash,
hasn't
fold,
been
put
saying
away
pick up your stuff.
part.
But yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess at that point, like, will some of them just figure it out when they move out and realize, wow, I don't like a messy room?
Yeah, or sometimes they'll get married and then their spouse will tell them, but have you noticed that it can look really bad, but then it actually comes back together really quickly because of the low inventory? Have you found
That's
that?
actually very true. So it
Yeah.
was actually yesterday that I was like,
Hmm.
okay, son, you're not going to gym and you're not going to work. And I set a timer. I was like, you
Yeah.
have 30 minutes. I'm not even going to
Yeah.
help you.
And he
I'm
was
going to
able to
come in
do
your room
it.
in 30 minutes and everything that's out, I'm taking from you. Like the end
Nice.
and stop. From the
Yeah.
kid who takes 10 minutes to unload 2 cups from the dishwasher. That kid.
Yeah.
Within
Yeah.
30 minutes, it was done.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's why it doesn't really stress me out anymore,
Okay.
is because I just know it comes back together so quickly. And so the boys' room and their room's very small, but it can just look like a train wreck. And it's like 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh, okay, everything's put back together. It really wasn't
Yeah,
that big
it's
of a deal,
actually
Bring
fine
some stuff to
because
the laundry room and yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's not like they
Hmm.
have too much. It's just maybe
It's
we're
just
still
developing
working
that
on
habit.
the skills
Yeah.
of
And,
putting things
I
away.
just haven't had a lot of energy to be like, every night, pick it up before bed, do this. I could do a better job helping them to practice that skill, and it just hasn't been a priority. And so I
Yeah,
think that's okay.
I bet for some it would be a priority and for others not so
Hmm.
much, like myself and you.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Yeah.
I think that's
Hmm.
okay.
I would rather read my fiction book and drink
And
tea
feel your
than,
stress level go down by
yeah, than try to be like, pick up all your stuff.
99.95%.
Exactly. It's actually even more so than yoga, meditation, or going for a walk. Reading fiction does, because it transports you to a different like time and space.
That's
Telling you,
wild. Okay, what's your favorite fiction book?
I don't know.
Do you
I read
reread?
so many. I get a lot of free ones off Kindle Unlimited, and some of them are so bad, and I feel so annoyed by the end of it. And I'm like, well, at least my stress level went down, right?
Do you know the worst? No, I think my stress level went up when I gave Colleen Hoover a try.
Oh, which
I
one?
have I can't remember the name of it. It was a year or two ago when she had just
Okay.
exploded or whatever, and I was like,
Yep.
"Wow, I should see what the hoopla is about."
Yeah.
And it was not it. The writing was atrocious. It was predictable. It was the
Oh, you're
most
gonna offend some
angsty.
people right now.
I
Yeah.
don't care.
Because she is a big
It
deal.
was
Yeah.
badly
Yeah.
done. And
Yeah.
I've read some romances or difficult situation books or whatever that are very well done,
Yeah.
and those are not it.
I actually like following Rachel Cruz on Instagram because she will give book recommendations, and hers are usually pretty good. Like I can usually trust hers pretty well. There's been a couple where I'm like, no, 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 Rachel, sorry, but we could add her to our list of
Okay,
Instagram
now
follows.
there's
So
4 that you can
4.
follow. Rachel Cruz for the book Rex for sure. So just for the Colleen Hoover fans that might come after me right now,
Yeah.
uh, I would say if you want like a Kristen Hanna writes a much better novel.
Kristen Hanna. Okay.
She writes
Track her down.
excellent. Get your tissues. You're going to cry.
Okay.
I
I
have
don't
read
always
every
like to
single one of her
cry.
books. They're fantastic.
All right,
Like
adding that
it's a
to my list.
better written book.
Oh, she wrote The Winter Garden. That's
Yeah,
the book I'm talking about. Have you read that?
I've read all of
That's
them.
the one about well, then you've read it
Yeah, probably.
about the Cold War. Well, did it
Yes,
not change your
yes.
life?
But
I
I've read all
expected
of hers.
more.
So I like it's
Okay.
like I probably read that one a few years ago and then like
Yeah, so you're more
I've
removed
read
from
her
it.
newer ones more recently so they're fresher.
Okay, yeah, Kristen Hanna, The Winter Garden. That was the book I was referring to.
Okay,
That
good.
one's really sad. I was actually. You got to be in a place. If you have sad things going on in your life, don't read that book. Probably not the other one Christine recommended either. Like, you got to know your season. Like, sometimes you're like, yeah, I can handle crying at a book or a show. And sometimes you're like, nope, I got enough stuff going on right
I mean,
now.
if you don't want to cry, don't watch Parenthood, the TV show. You'll cry every stinking episode. That's why I stopped
No.
watching This Is Us. I cried every episode and I was like, I cannot
Yeah,
handle this.
I'm not in it right now. Yeah, for that.
This is a personal favor.
Okay.
Let me get to it. Would you
That sounded a
come to
little
my
saucy.
house? Hang on. Would you come to my house and help me decorate my living room?
Yes.
Yes.
Are we going to go
And
mountain biking too?
I'll even concede the throw pillow idea for a temporary amount of time. I hate my living room.
Sure.
It's set up super weird. I can't figure out a
Okay.
furniture layout. I'm
Mhm.
never loved it. I need some
Mhm.
professional help. And you are much better at this than I am.
Let's do it. That would be super
So
fun.
let's have a party. And I know
Okay.
you're probably not going to want a mountain bike, but we could go for a hike.
Okay. Deal.
Okay. Deal. I love it.
But like not like a 80-mile hike, like a 4-mile hike. Okay.
I don't do an 80-mile hike. That's a hyperbole.
What is like an average hike for you, Christine?
It depends on the day. Right now, probably about 4 or 5 miles.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
It's
I
not
did an
uphill both
8-miler with
ways,
my
is it?
mom, which was super
Wow.
awesome a few weeks ago.
Wow, your
That
mom's in
was
good shape.
not really. We went slow. But the
Okay.
most amazing thing is she had full knee replacement surgery a year ago.
Go mom.
And
That's
she's
awesome.
like, I feel great. And before that, she was like hobbling to her car because her knees hurt so bad. So miracle
Wow.
surgery,
Yeah.
rough
Okay.
recovery, but
Yeah. Okay.
fantastic. So
I
what
like
is
it.
your current gym routine right now?
So do you know what I really love is the stair mill. That's the thing that's like an escalator. So I usually walk for a while and then I do that for like 20 minutes. And then I do strength training 4 to 5 days a week. So I would
Favorite
rather
lift?
lift weights all day long than do cardio, but
I love
favorite
lifting
lift?
heavy weights. Yeah. What's your favorite
Lunges.
lift?
Lunges.
What? You
Yeah.
psychopath.
I know, not burpees. No, I used to Christine, you'll get a kick out of this. When I was a personal trainer, the gym I was at had a walking track around like all the fitness equipment. And so I used it with my clients and I would do it with them. But we would grab like a 25 or 45-pound plate, like that you put on the bars.
Mhm.
And we would do different styles of lunges around the track, like forward, side lunges, and do you know what's so fun though? They felt like such bad A's because like people are watching you and like that is not easy, right?
Do you do the ones where
But
you hold them with straight arms above your head? That sucker is
that's a
hard.
whole nother level of insanity. Not too often. I'll get back there
Man,
again. That's
no
going to
wonder
take me a
your
little bit to
butt
work up
looks
to.
so great. It's all those lunges.
Thank you. Thank you, Christine. You're the
So
best.
do you like any compound lifts, like Olympic lifts?
Yeah, so I competed in Olympic weightlifting when I was in high school. So snatch and clean and jerk. So
Did
I
you wear the
do. I haven't gone
unitard?
back into that. Yeah, we actually did.
Do you still have it?
No, and no pictures either. I have scoliosis. My back is curved, so I actually have to be very careful with overhead stuff because my vertebrae don't compress properly. Because my of the curve, and so that's why I try not to do a lot of overhead stuff anymore. But yeah, some good compound lifts because you do
I love
CrossFit,
those.
right?
Yeah, I did CrossFit,
Yeah,
so
so you're all about that.
I know the
Yeah,
compound lifts. The snatch is probably my favorite. It
I
is
hated the snatch. I liked
I
clean and jerk more.
I love it because it's so technical. It's
Yes, it's all form.
it's
Hmm.
all form. It's
Yep.
so challenging, which is probably why I like mountain biking because mountain biking is very technical. And so I find
Okay.
both of those incredibly mentally stimulating
Yeah. Hmm.
because maybe not everybody likes that, but
Hmm.
I get bored easily.
Sure.
Someone
Yeah,
told
gotta
me I
keep
had
it
ADD
exciting.
recently. I don't think so, but I do get bored.
You
So
just
like I
yeah.
love sports that are mentally stimulating and books that are mentally
Hmm.
stimulating and TV shows that make me think or whatever. And fun conversation with really intelligent people like you is always good for me. So I like the really hard technical sports. Like I was a swimmer. That was very technical as a
Yeah.
sport.
Yeah. Hmm.
So that's why I like the snatch. It's very technical.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I like it.
So quick question about your fitness level right now. I saw this probably online, probably on Instagram, but it was like the percentages of your body weight that you need to be able to lift to be a fit person.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Let's put you to the test right now.
I don't
Can
even know if I
you
know.
squat 75% of your body weight?
Yes.
Can you deadlift 100% of your body weight?
No, probably not right now.
Really?
I don't know.
You don't do
Maybe.
deadlifts on the
I
regular?
haven't not yet. I haven't got back into those yet.
Okay. I love for like a powerlifting lift, the deadlift's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah. I wish we could work out together, Christine. You would teach
Me
me a lot.
too. Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
amazing?
Hmm.
I'm going to book it. I'm going to come out there and we're going to book it and we're going to go lift and
Well, no,
record the
when I
whole
come
thing. And
help with your living room, we'll
yes.
go.
And then you can teach me to love the clean and jerk.
Deal.
because it's not my favorite. I think it's because
And
I
we'll
have
do
really
lunges around the
long
track.
arms. So
No, because see, I'm very short, and that makes all of it. Powerlifting and Olympic lifting is easier when you're short. Yeah.
and I think that's why I like the deadlift, because I have short legs.
Oh, okay. So then it's a shorter distance.
It's a shorter distance.
Yeah.
But popping that bar up over my head, like
That's a
on
long
the
ways for
jerk,
you.
that's a long way for me to go. People wanted to find you elsewhere on the internet, where would they go?
You know, I spend most of my time on YouTube. So just search The Minimal Mom, and I'm hit or miss on Instagram, not gonna lie. But when I'm there, I'm there. So
Same. I'm also hit or miss. I've learned as a content creator, it's challenging to do all of them.
yeah. But YouTube, we're always on YouTube, right? You and I, we're consistent
Always.
there. Yep.
Always on YouTube. Big love in my heart for YouTube.
Yep.
And then if you had to give one piece of advice just to anyone that you met on the street, anyone that's struggling, anyone at all, the most powerful piece of advice that someone either gave to you or that you could give to someone, what would it be?
Yeah, I mean, our weightlifting coach used to say any excuse will do. And so I know people who are perfectionistic will say, but I'm a perfectionist, or your mom could have said my knee hurts or I had a knee replacement, but anything can be broken down into smaller pieces. And so some of us have to take much smaller bites than others, but everything is doable and possible. So if we can get past our excuses, and sometimes we need to invite others in, we need to bring community around us, but if we can get past that, you can do anything, right? You can do anything.
I love that so much. I never thought about it in that context, but now it's maybe my new favorite also.
There you go.
Well, Dawn, thank you so much for your time today. Of course, I will have all of her information in the show notes, as well as all of the people you should follow on Instagram and all the books you should read as well.
I love it.
So thanks so much.